Hello, 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 and welcome to this Source Gaming stream for the Legend of Zelda II: Adventure of Link. So, as you guys should know, should have definitely watched, ShadowLink put out his second episode in the Zelda retrospective covering Zelda 2. And for a long time, I've been looking for some kind of excuse to play the Japanese version of Zelda 2. So I figured, what better time than any, get people talking about it, get people interested about it, and then hopping over to give the game a whirl in Japanese. So I am sitting in here in Discord, in our Patreon chat, if anyone wants to join me. I hope you've all watched ShadowLink's video. I don't know how many of you have actually played Zelda 2 yourself, but this is going to be the Japanese version, which has a few notable differences, and I'll try and point them out. Some of them are going to be pretty obvious as it goes on, but let's get on here. First, how is the music and stuff? You can tell from the stream I'm actually using the Nintendo Switch Online version, because it's just the easiest way to stream the Japanese version of the game. So I'm just going to go back to the main game, and we get to start with this fantastic background music. Netsu no Zelda: The Adventure of Link is good. So the first difference right off the bat is the music. The Famicom Disk System actually has better music capabilities than the NES, which means that the music is slightly more higher quality on the Famicom Disk System, and this was different. But interestingly enough, despite it being in Japanese, it's still written in English. Power of the Third Triforce Seal. Now, because this is the Nintendo Switch Online version of the game, it's been updated to have a much better localization. Even though most of the text will be in Japanese in this game, that intro scroll is much better English than the Power of Three Triforce that we got in the original. So let's just jump straight in, and instantly Nemu Toroku, or kill mode. For those that obviously might have realized, mode is delete. So we're going to go to Name Toroku. Oh shoot, I've already goofed this up. Nope. Okay. We'll go with, of course, Nan. I wonder what the character limit is here. Might fit. Whole thing might fit. Ah, so close. So close. So we're not going to do that then. Let's just go nice and simple. Source. And then, can I leave the rest blank? I hope so. There we go. Nice and simple. Keep it with source. And go to end. Wait. Alright. There we go. Got the game in. We've got the game in ready. Let me know what the quality of the stream is like. I'm going to actually put that in the staff chat just so that people can check. Just while we stand here in front of the beautiful Princess Zelda asleep on her temple bed. So, come on. Okay. So first thing to do is it's the first thing to actually notice for those who have played. This is a completely different room entirely that we're in. Who joined the chat? Scroll right up there. Hey, it's Leo. How's it going, Leo?
I'm doing fine.
Good. Now that someone's here, I might just turn down the volume ever so slightly. Give me 1 sec.
I had started a playthrough of this as well. I could have played for the game with you.
Ah, nice. So, How much of this have you
It's
actually...
on a different computer, though, and I don't have access to that computer.
Oh no. So how far did you actually get into the game?
I did the first dungeon, and then I got up to Death Mountain, and I decided that was...
Fair enough. Right, when it starts getting...
I'd be meaning to go back to...
So, first difference...
Yeah, like, this game's notoriously difficult.
Oh yeah, it is. And I've never actually played the Japanese version, but I do know some of the differences. For starters, the water here around the temple is animated, which it isn't in the NES version. This is what this disc power is getting you. And there's the second difference. The enemies are not blobs or monsters. They're weird coloured ghosts on the overworld. But... Right,
Is this version any easier, or is it more difficult? I'd imagine it's more difficult.
It's more difficult. So, this game has a few strange differences, but we're not going to go... Oh, shoot. We're not going to do this in scrub mode. We're going straight... Who needs the lantern? Who needs the sea? Shoot. Apparently me, because I'm about to...
For context, the only reason I played through this game and completed it before.
Wow. Well,
But,
I died.
I was looking through my...
Sorry, go on.
Right, anyway, I should probably say the only reason I'm playing this game again is because I was looking through my NES save files a while back, and I discovered that to save no longer existed, so I was like, oh god damn it, I have to replay this again, so that's a bit low.
Alright.
And it's now going to look really weird because every other playthrough was done in 2000. So it's like all these 2016 playthroughs. And then this is like 2020.
So one thing I'm noticing, and maybe it's just because it's been a while for me, the game feels very heavy. I don't know if that's just the switch on lines. Oh, do. So this game actually has like special music for when you go into battle in the Japanese version. Oh, poo. And it's also different music when you're in battle as well, if you're listening in on the stream. It's like a proper Final Fantasy Dragon Quest style. When you get into battle, the music changes. You know, it makes a little jingle when you start. But if we stay on the... Anyone who's played Zelda will know, Zelda 2 will know, if you stay on the beaten path, no enemies will attack you. If you accidentally trigger an encounter, nothing will actually happen, so... We're gonna go on like this. Oh wait, no. So the red ones are actually good. The red ones are the red ones are what the fairies are in this. So if I can go grab this fairy, come on. Oh no, she's gone. No, this is not a good start. Okay, gonna deal with you. Gonna deal with you. All right, so here's what's probably the biggest change with the Japanese version. In this game, attack when you get enough experience points, you can level up and gain one of your things, magic, attack, or life. In the NES version, they all have a different amount of like experience required in order to get them, sort of incentivizing you to go for one or the other. Not in the Japanese version. The Japanese version, they're all the same, attack, magic, and life, which seems good. It seems like, oh yeah, maybe I could focus and put everything on attack instead and have like a really decked out Link instead of having to sort of split things up. But no, because in this game, if you save and quit, not die, save and quit to come back to it another day, the game will automatically downgrade all of your levels and stats to the lowest level that you are. So say you're at attack level 8, magic level 5 and health level 3. If you saved and quitted, then every level would go down to 3. And you wouldn't gain any of that experience back. Wow, the voice mute sound is different as well. There's an interesting difference. So, one of the things in this game that's also slightly varied, well, less varied, I should say, is that outside here in the towns, in the NES version, you'd have a mixture of women, old ladies, young kids, and got men just walking around. In the Japanese version, that's not the case. In the Japanese version, the only people walking around town are the old ladies and the young women. The men are all inside. That's literally how it goes. That's it. There's no other villages. Link is in a very female-dominating town. I suppose when you have Princess ruling over the whole kingdom, it sort of fits. Also, the old men are not animated in this one. Yeah, so I got the shield spell, which will give me double attack. Oh, double health, sorry. Not even that, it'll give me defense. So, interestingly enough, all the spells are in English, and they're all mostly the same in terms of names, other than one, which I'll point out when we get to it. But for now, we got everything we wanted from this town. So let's just... I wonder what that's... I mean, it's going to be Japanese, but... Let's make our way on over to the first palace. So, which requires going through the woods and avoiding as many enemy contacts as possible. So this game automatically makes you go through a cave at the start, which ShadowLink pointed out in his video, and you can see the enemies with their little sprites, which is why it's not too difficult. Like, it would be pretty obnoxious if the game sort of expected you, and there aren't that many enemies in here, but it'd be pretty obnoxious if the game expected you to go through a proper dungeon like that without any way to see anything. Nice. Like, and fill it with enemies. So before we go to the first dungeon, we are going to fight off fireballs in this area, the deadliest of enemies, and then work our way down here across this. Well, that was some terrible input lag there. Thankfully, this is still early game, so the Bubble Bridge is a really obnoxious area in Zelda 2, infamously obnoxious, because, well, look at it. Any of these could knock you off into bottomless pits, which kill you basically instantly. And the game makes you sort of jump across this in a super early part of the game. Granted, it's in an attempt to get the, you get a good reward for doing this. You get the heart container, which is why we're going down here. Just gotta jump down here. So another thing in this game is that in order to pick up stuff, you have to actually hit it with your sword in this one. Like, you have to do that with some items in... You have to do that with some items in the NES game. But this one is every single item, which means stuff like that isn't just a quick pick up and throw over Link's head. And back across Bubble Bridge we go. Yeah, the knockback is that classic NES jank knockback that you popularised in Castlevania and Ninja Gaiden. No! Ah! So, here we go. Now I can show you the ending of the game over screen. There is no Ganon appearing in this one. Nothing like that happens. It's just an evil roar and a black screen. No flashing either. I can't remember if that is in the original one or not. But as you can see, I've still got shield, and I've still got shield. I've still got 2 lives, and I assume I still have the heart container.
I'm terribly sorry. I just had a phone call. So what have I missed?
That's okay. I died. So.
Oh, you died.
I won't explain some of the differences over and over again like I was just doing on the stream. You'll have to rewatch that to get it. But basically the main thing is, in this game, when you... I'm just double checking to make sure it hasn't taken away my magic potion that I found. Because I still have the shield... I still have the shield spell that I got, but I don't have any of the experience or levels anymore. And that's because in this game, when you die or save and quit, the game automatically brings you down to your lowest level.
Was that in the Western version, or is that just for the Japanese?
Nope, that's just in the Japanese version.
Oh well, it's a good job I'm playing the Western version.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, those NES games, like, bro.
Yeah, it's so I do keep the magic potion good. Yeah, it's proper NES jank. So like literally, it's in the original game. The experience is varied depending on what. So you hit a threshold, and then if you can afford it, you can upgrade one of the various upgrades. But in this one, every upgrade is the same. Like it's the same, requires the same amount of experience. But if you say put everything in attack to make your attack massive, and then died, your experience would all reset back to whatever the lowest value is. So in this case, if you put 8 into attack and then like none into health, your attack would just go all the way back down to whatever your health's value was. And you wouldn't gain any of that experience back either. It would be permanent.
Right, so I guess that way it encourages you to level up.
Yeah. It's like the game sort of forcing you, giving you the choice, but forcing you to do one of each every single time. Which is somewhat obnoxious. Also, I pointed out earlier, but in the towns and stuff, there's less NPCs. They had to make up some NPCs for the Western version.
Is that why a lot of the ones in the Western game just talk garbage?
Yeah, so like, they're only the young women, the old ladies, and the fat men are pretty much the only NPCs in this game. Other than like some special ones like the old men who give you magic spells. And one town guard you have to chat to. You know, this game is really floaty though. It's one of its many flaws. Which is something I feel like they fixed. I should have played the Western version a bit before this, just to like get a feel for the differences. Because I do not remember the original being this floaty, but it may very well be. All right, first dungeon, first palace. After it loads. So, into the very first palace. All Smash fans will recognise this song. Classic temple theme.
I guess this game's also cruel enough to keep the EXP sap and metal people.
What? What's that?
One of the enemies in this game, there's like they like sap EXP and they're basically like metal people and they just like jump towards you.
Yeah.
Endlessly.
Yeah. The ones that sap EXP because there are
the ones that take it away.
No, so you're conflating two enemies. So the ones that take them EXP away aren't metal; they're like bubbles, and they hit you. They float around the room and hit you. The metal enemies are like just really difficult to deal with, like infamously hard enemies to deal with.
Sure. I only played the game a few weeks ago, and I distinctly remember like that guy there. I'm pretty sure he saps EXP.
I don't think he does. I don't think there is any enemies that sap EXP from you. I mean, there are enemies that sap EXP from the game, but I'm pretty sure they're not those ones. They're a bit more obnoxious.
Alright, I'm looking at it. Right, I think this might be another difference between the versions.
Well, no, because I haven't played
remember
the
those metal
Japanese
guys.
Like, so I'm... Oh, no! My knowledge is coming from the Western version.
Right, hold on, I'm just gonna Google. I'm gonna fact check. I'm gonna go to the source.
Fact
so,
check me. Yeah, do it. There's an input delay.
Zelda dungeon.
God, these enemies are obnoxious. Okay, so you got the key. I actually made this. I quite like this level specifically because I like made it in Super Mario Maker, the first one, like as a Mario level. Who's joined us in the chat? Dingy Bell. How's it going, Dingy?
Fine.
Good, good. Have you played Zelda 2 before? Oh my god, my reach is less than the enemies. That's so obnoxious.
Okay, first of all, hello Dingy. Second of all, I've just looked on the Zelda dungeon and it says right here on this enemy's cage. It's called a Wose in the Japanese version. But as I like to call it, well, as the Western call version calls it a tinsuit.
Let's have a look. You posted in the Patreon chat.
Experience when killed, but steal 10 experience points from Link if they succeed in damaging him. So I'm pretty sure.
So these bubble enemies are super obnoxious to kill, but they do give some nice experience. They're significantly easier to kill when you've got one of those vertical or horizontal vertical thrust attacks. They take all your magic though. Also, yeah, I have not been using the shield spell. That's my dumbass. Now without magic.
Sorry.
They do bounce off of these walls. One of these days they'll die. Oh my god, maybe it's just not worth it. You know what, fuck it, I can't be bothered. Ah! Oh my god, I'm gonna die again. And I'm dead. Alright, this is not going well.
Usually like a big latency
What, sorry?
between like the live stream.
Yeah, there'll be a bit of delay between the live stream and this. I think there's also a bit of input lag between my controllers and this. But as you can see, again, all my whole levels have all reset back to 1. Hurrah.
What part is this just now?
I cannot hear you what you're saying.
Yeah, you need to speak louder for the circuit maker.
Damn it.
Actually, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Fine,
Oh.
you're fine.
Alright, that's good.
But as you can see, the experience bag that I would have got here is now gone. So it's like back to square one again. Which is basically the reason why this game is so hard and much, much harder in Japanese. The only things that retain over are your magic and life.
Is this any better?
Yeah, that's
I don't know
better.
what's going on well.
That is very, yeah.
This reminds me so much. It's brand new and it just, I don't know why, but for some reason the Discord doesn't even pick it up half the time.
That's weird. Okay, we're gonna go.
So are you two keeping well in quarantine?
Yeah. And I'm getting really tired of it. Which is annoying because it's probably going to last for like another 6 months.
It's to last till June or something.
At the moment it
minimum?
is,
They
but
said today, I think they might extend it to 6 months.
No, damn it.
yeah. So, and after 2 weeks of it, I'm already tired of it. And I've been hearing that you're not even like meant to be driving anywhere because I was thinking of driving somewhere remote just to get out of the house.
Yeah, all you're allowed to do is walk.
Yeah,
I'll
walk
go
with.
out for a jog around the neighbourhood and take my dog out, and that's it. And I try to avoid people.
I'm trying my best. I'm gonna go for a walk soon, but I'm trying my best not to just now because if I end up going out for a walk, I'm gonna end up accidentally coughing, and people are gonna freak out.
I need to get a pet just to have an excuse to go out. I forgot to put shield on again. Keep doing this.
Oh, ouch.
Back through we go.
I'm surprised
The keys.
places are still open.
Yes, the game is harder in Japanese.
No.
The keys, at least the keys also remain. So any item I get stays, but all the experience I get goes. Okay,
So
let's hack back up to
I'm
level
surprised
2.
like the big pizza chains are still open, to be honest.
The what?
Yeah, well, they're mostly I'm guessing most of the restaurants are closed, but the takeaways are still open.
Yeah.
All the takeaways are shut except for the pizza places.
No, that's not the same
At
around
least
here.
for me.
Takeaways are
Right.
open, but they only for delivery. You can't do going in store.
Yeah, for me it's just delivery. For me it's just delivery. When it's any like chippy or Indian or that nearby me, or
Yeah.
Chinese.
Yeah, I got a curry on Saturday from takeout, so.
I've not ordered takeout in a while. I've got stuff in my fridge and freezer and that I can make, so I'm fine.
Right,
I ordered a pizza on Saturday. They're just basically dropping it at your doorstep and they leave, so you have to pay it by card.
Huh.
Yeah, I think it's the same with deliveries and that now as well.
So many of these guys.
My dad got a PC and door went, and we're like, okay, give me 2 seconds. The keys were at the door, so we put the keys in the door, opened the door, all I see is the parcel there, and the bloody postman stand like at the road. And like, it's not like that's more than 2 meters.
Yeah, I mean that hasn't happened.
It's just like, I'll sign it for you, it's alright.
I think some people are just really
I
paranoid.
actually had to order some. I hope we don't go too badly when the stuff I ordered at CEX.
Oh yeah, so and also like
I
the,
had
yeah.
to order it.
Can't remember. Is this in the Western version? Because you've been playing it recently, Leo. When you leave a room,
Yeah.
your magic just stops. So you have to put shield on every single room.
I actually haven't been using the shield spell. Weirdly.
That's like kind of essential.
I was using the jump spell a lot instead.
I mean, jump's also very useful.
A lot.
Ah, come on! This lag.
As you get more into Zelda, like I started to play for A Link to the Past ages ago and I never went back to it.
Yeah, Zelda games.
And Link to the Past is seen as one of the best games.
Yeah, Link to the Past is very fun.
Oh.
I also had Twilight Princess as preteen, and I never finished that either.
I like Twilight Princess. I got a
I'm
soft
just,
spot for Twilight Princess.
like I've tried multiple times, I just can't get into Zelda.
I feel like Link to the Past and oh no, it's Hammer Bro. So yeah, I mean these enemies are basically Hammer Bros. I wouldn't be surprised if they use the exact same code as Hammer Bros do. Oh my god!
Well, they couldn't because the Hammer Bros go like up and then down, while theirs just goes straight forward. So I'd imagine it's slightly different.
I mean slightly, but it's probably based on it. The only thing is these ones don't jump super high. And back to the start we go. Oh, I didn't realise how much losing all of my XP every single time I died would actually be a huge toll on this game. I underestimated this.
I wouldn't fault you for using save states, to be honest. I think a lot of NES games fly out unplayable without save states like Battletoads.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see how this goes.
Like I made a rule for myself where I'd only use a save state when I reached a checkpoint, and I decided to say fuck that rule when I got to the motorcycle section in Battletoads because it's fucking impossible.
So, like, I mean, I usually don't have a problem with doing save states, but with this one, I've beaten Zelda 2 like at least 4 times. So I know my way around the game quite well, but there's definitely some sort of bizarre, like, heaviness to this version of the game. Like, my jumps just feel heavier and take slightly longer to come out than what I remember from the original. From the Western version. I keep saying the original, but what I mean is the Western version.
Yeah, because technically this is the original.
Yeah.
How that came out of nowhere, that fireball from the... Sorry, just because of the delay, that's...
Yeah.
I've just seen you entering the place.
Yeah, no, that delay is oh, it's a pain.
I've never beaten Zelda 2. Or Zelda
I've
1,
beaten
for
it.
that matter.
I had to post proof, but unfortunately my proof was lost. And that's why I sort of restarted it.
Yeah. But this game has... So interestingly, this game in the Japanese version, there's less unique bosses. Because one of the bosses in the Western version is a Western original. In this game you just fight a harder version of a previous enemy. And then the other thing is that the Volvagia boss, or whatever he's called in this game, is easier because there's a huge exploit that you can use to just sort of avoid him and basically just do loads of damage. However, to counterbalance this, the Dark Link exploit from the end of the game, the infamous one where you sit in the corner, doesn't work in this game. So Dark Link is significantly harder in the Japanese version of Zelda 2 because you have to play him as intended. Alright, it's back here we go.
It's really easy to get hit in this.
Yeah. Just gonna make sure that bubble stays away from me. Like glitching him out on the border. Ah! Ah! I can see that coming. Ah no! Link starts.
Sorry. Sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Link just skidding across the floor like everything's made of ice. Right, I need to get rid of you guys. Right, come over here. Whoa, what the fuck? He bounced so many times. I like timed it right so I would be there and he just multi-bounced.
Language?
Should be illegal. Yeah, I'm not going to make as much progress in this game as I thought I was originally going to do.
Oh no.
And really this is just a one-off stream because I want to show off the Japanese differences. Which maybe I should have got a different maybe I should have beaten the game and saved it at different points to show you some of the later ones. Ah, no! Now when you get the expanded moveset, this game does become significantly easier. I think that's what makes Death Mountain so hard. You have to pretty much do it all in like one go. Oh, Jesus, not you. I don't remember Dark Nuts being gold. And next then, I guess they're not called Dark Nuts, are they? They're called Iron Knuckles.
Interesting, it's gold.
Attacking at the speed of light. Ah! Frick you. Link's dopey little sword is too small. Also, I didn't point this out yet, Link doesn't have a mouth in the Japanese version. Oh, I forgot I needed a key. Well, back
He has no mouth, but he must scream.
We did plenty of scream for him. Yes, even though the music's high quality in this game, and there are some parts of the soundtrack that are objectively better in this game, there are also some that are significantly worse. I'll point out the boss theme when we get to it, but the boss theme in this game is like a 2-second loop that just plays indefinitely, infinitely, which is terrible. Ah, you mother effer. Back up we go. I should have known this. I should have remembered that this is how this dungeon worked, considering. Ah, you poo. Ah! Ah! No! I didn't react fast enough. Oh no! I didn't realise that was my last life. God. Ah, rage. Yeah, this is significantly more difficult than I remember it being.
So are you excited for the possibility of every 3D Mario game getting remastered?
Oh yeah, I guess I'll comment on that because I don't think I'm going to be in the video that... Well, no, I know I won't be in the video that we'll probably make on it. I don't know. I'm mixed on it. Like, it would be cool if it happens. I mean, I've been calling for a Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 HD sort of remake on the Switch, but it just seems a little too good to be true. Like, you're telling me they're going to take every single 3D Mario game this year alone and put it on the Switch, as well as a new Paper Mario and Mario Kart and various other Mario games, because they also said that it's not just the 3D ones, there are other Mario games. Like, isn't that a little bit overkill?
All I really care about is how this is.
Are they not trying to promote a theme park and a movie?
Yeah, the theme park and movie stuff I totally get. That will be come out. It'd be cool if we got to see a trailer for the Mario movie. I reckon they could potentially get that done. Like, there's definitely stuff there. That sort of stuff I fully expect. It's just all the game stuff, because like a port of 3D World and then Paper Mario and then Mario Kart and then I don't know, Super 3D Mario All Stars or whatever they're gonna call this game. Like, that's a lot of Mario.
I think it was like ROMs.
Well,
like just a mix of ROMs of like the classic 3D Mario stuff.
I mean, that was what
minor graphical updates, maybe that could be a thing, but I don't think it'll be like a full scale.
Yeah, well, that's my only thought if this is true. Like, it's gonna be like a bunch of ROMs on an emulator on a cartridge that Nintendo will sell for $60.
Yeah, they will
30-bit
a lot for it.
Calling it super, like pretty much exactly what they did for Mario's 25th anniversary, where they released Mario All Stars again.
I really am annoyed. I bought that.
I bought that. I mean, it came with a.
I was like, oh crap.
It came with like a book and stuff like an art book and music and stuff like that. So I can't be too mad.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah. I've still got the art book and the CD.
Nice, I do as well.
Got rid of the game years ago though.
What I want for like 64 is just like Mario 64 DS, but with good controls. That's all I want.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I wouldn't mind that.
Like, re-release that, but you want. Like, I want them to re-release that, but they'll just re-release the original.
The probably would just release the original.
Like, it's because the original DS title, of course, it would take much more work to port that over than.
The other thing is that if they are just re-releasing the original title, I'm getting that if that is the case, that would probably kill all hope of N64 for Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I was never a big component of that one, personally.
I don't think it was going to happen, but it would have been cool if it did.
Yeah, I suppose.
But, like, that puts it dead in the water for people to think about.
Yeah. Although it does raise the chance of there being a Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask HD pack.
Or it's weird, they sell these 3D games and I was like, I'm pretty sure from the looks of it there's no 3D Land.
Yeah, there wouldn't be 3D Land. I think
3D Land was handheld, so I'd imagine that it would be treated so.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder. Obviously, if they decided to remake Super Mario 64, DS specifically, then maybe there's argument to be made for 3D Land. But I think it's... I'm just gonna go for it, lads. But like, okay, fuck you. But yeah, so I'm just trying to concentrate. There we go. Oh, nice. That's what I needed. Ah, finally, I got everything to level 2, which means it won't disappear when I die now. Oh, Jesus. Nice. Just in case.
Do you think they'll announce Odyssey 2 this year? Because that's probably like my most anticipated game.
Maybe? It feels almost excessive, though. Like,
the thing is that when I first seen it, I was like, okay, this sounds really bullcrap. But then at the same time, all you seen was everybody comment on the fact that this is supposedly the thing that's happening.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
I mean,
I think what might have happened today is there was like an indoors conference to like some media people, and they just revealed that that was a plan.
I'm pretty sure this has been rumored for a while now, but not publicly. Like the talk, I think from as far back as when people were saying Super Mario 3D World, Mario Kart 9, and Paper Mario, because those three specifically have been rumored for a bit. Like, they're not new. So I think it's been sort of heard about, but people probably didn't want to comment on it, because if you were to go, oh yeah, Nintendo are re-releasing like all of their 3D Mario games this year, like every single one except for 3D Land, I feel like most people would call bullshit on that. So
yeah,
most people
yeah,
but most people went numb, and it's only because one person decided to drop that announcement.
That everyone's basically went, oh yeah, by the way, this is happening.
Yeah, everyone's gone, well, if it's out now, I guess I can say.
Yeah.
I just want Odyssey 2, it's my most anticipated game. Like, I don't think it's going to come out this year, especially if that 3D Mario remaster thing is real.
Yeah.
I think it'll be next year.
I wonder how that's even going to work, if it's like some Super Mario All-Stars type affair, or they're just releasing it separately.
Well, that's all. I think, for me, I forgot to put the shield on. That's too late now. For me, the only thing that makes sense is a Mario All-Stars type thing, because I just can't see, unless they're releasing them on the eShop, kind of like what Bethesda did with Doom, where they just sort of released all of the old Doom games on the eShop. I can't just see Nintendo being like, oh yeah, we're going to release a new 3D Mario every single month for $60 each. Like, that's too much.
No, because then they could just release them on the eShop for $30 each.
Yeah, exactly. And not have to worry about physicals, and then they don't have to delay anything.
If they did a physical, what they would probably do is they'd just be like, oh, it's coming to the eShop first, and then a few months later you can get a physical double pack.
Yeah.
Here's 64 and Sunshine, and Galaxy 1 and 2. 3D World is its own separate thing.
Yeah, well, I think 3D World will always be its own separate thing.
Probably no matter what, since there's the rumour that it's a deluxe edition.
Yeah, I think that was always sort of in the cards for... I think that was just part of their plan, even though like the Wii U's not going to have like any games. But for the other 3D Mario games, I think that... So for the other 3D Mario games, I think those are just like... Nintendo sort of realised the value of porting or re-releasing old games a lot more now, and realise they can get away with them at full price.
Well, I'm guessing the reason for that is probably the amount of people who put out ports and remasters of their own games, and how well that sells on the Switch is probably the reason why Nintendo's went, wait a minute, we can make some money out of this.
Yeah, I mean, people have been saying it for ages. When you have a HD console, people are like, re-release Mario Galaxy in HD, please. And they already re-released the first one in HD in China for the Nvidia Shield, so that one's already done.
Same with, like, I wonder if they're going to take this approach with Zelda.
I mean, I could see it, like, because there's the Zelda. Oh, no, you bumhole. Ah.
Because they seem to be like having a Zelda nearly every year now, and usually they pad it out with re-releases sometimes.
Yeah. Well, like
When there's
I
not
thought that
a new Zelda game.
I mean,
Sorry.
yeah, that's true. I mean, I was under the impression that Wind Waker HD or Twilight Princess would probably come this year. Like HD versions of them. But with Mario getting so many ports, I almost wonder if it's not good practice to then be like, oh yeah, Link's also now getting... like, Mario's getting old games, and now Link is also getting all the old games. Oh,
Well, he won't get all those games. They're never going to re-release Link: The Faces of Evil or Zelda 1 to Gamelon.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yes, but at the same time, we're not getting a re-release of Hotel Mario, so
Yeah. So we're not getting.
Honestly, they should bring those games back. Just like as a meme.
yeah.
Like, say it's a forgotten piece of their history.
Yeah. Do it with them and the Virtual Boy, please.
Like the Virtual Boy Mario games, the Deke cartoons,
Freaking
Mario Tennis.
and the Mario movie with what's his name? Bob Hoskins.
Bob
Did that not already get released a few
Yeah,
years
Bob
back?
Hoskins.
Yeah, I think it got released on
So
Blu-ray
like
a few
there was a
years ago.
HD version that I think does exist.
Yeah, movies are always slightly different, aren't they, for that? Alright, let's get attack up to level 3.
Hope you don't lose it.
You and me both. Okay, so this should be the boss room, if I've remembered correctly. Yep, it is.
It's interesting just how much leaked in general this past week. So it is.
Ah, go away! I'm like terrified.
Because you've got between that and
It's like-
Call of Duty.
Look how much damage he does in one strike.
It is annoying.
Ah, no! Ah! And Ganon came back. I'm gonna do one dungeon at least, come on. See, now everything gets to get to level 2. But yeah, so like the way the experience sort of works is that everything's level, like the next 3 levels are all going to be the same amount of EXP to get. So I don't need magic. So like they're all level 300, level 300, level 300 instead of being whatever they would have been. Don't want to fight you either because I can't kill fireballs. It's a waste of my time. Oh, come on!
So, do you two have any guesses as to who this mysterious ARMS character is going to be? I think you can tell who I'm guessing based on what my name.
I mean, he is a lock, is Biff. He's the unsung character. It's gonna be.
I've never played ARMS, so I wouldn't know who to guess.
Right, unironically, I genuinely think there's no other reason why they would put Biff on the little picture that they put. Unless they were going to do like a little spotlight and they were going to have it go for the entire cast and they were just going to have it put on. And just have it make a little shocked expression like, oh.
Yeah, probably. I feel like they might do something like that.
And then it's like, Biff gives it a bash. But yeah, if you've never played ARMS thingy, it's fun, but there's not much to do. Like aside from the Grand 3, all there really is like multiplayer and unlocking all the arms for all the different characters. Because you can unlock every arm in the game for all the characters.
Yeah. Well, that's it. It's its usual fighting game problems.
Yeah. Which get resolved in a sequel, which is why I want ARMS to get a sequel.
Yeah. I think
I've noticed, like, most...
at some point.
I personally think it won't happen until like, the next Nintendo console, probably. Although some people are saying that because ARMS is suddenly getting promotion again, they're going to announce an ARMS 2 this year. But I personally think it's more likely to be for the next one.
I don't think it'll be for the next console. I think it'll be for Switch 2. Oh, no, sorry. that doesn't make sense. I think it's definitely for Switch as well. I don't think it's for the next console. Just because I don't think Nintendo has any plans to release their next console for like at least 4 more years.
Maybe longer.
Yeah. Like they were saying that they wanted the Switch. Yeah, they were saying they wanted the Switch to last, so because
I'm happy about the inclusion personally. By the way, I should probably mention. I've noticed some people being all like, "The ARMS failed."
No, yeah, ARMS didn't fail.
I don't think it's fair to say the game failed, especially when the game's been super successful, especially for a fighting game.
Yeah, the game
like
sold
2 million for our
most...
first game's really good.
Yeah, it sold more than most fighting games out there.
It's just because the game didn't have much content,
numbers.
they just kind of dropped it.
Yeah. Okay, it's 2.
Oh, like if you've noticed, like with most fighting game franchises, the games don't get their stride until the second game. Like nobody really remembers Street Fighter 1. People remember Street Fighter 2 more.
Because Street Fighter 1 is garbage. But you are right.
It's awful.
It is like Tekken 2 is more well received than Tekken 1 is. Dead or Alive 2 is more well received. Soul Calibur 2, although that's technically the third game.
Fatal Fury Special, which is Fatal Fury 1 and 2 again.
The thing is that the only reason Soul Calibur 2 is more fondly remembered is because of the guest characters. Soul Calibur 1 was actually a really good game.
Oh yeah, I mean Tekken 1's a really good game as well. But I think that Tekken...
Tekken 2 is when it started to really got its legs, and then Tekken 3 came out and that was
yeah,
insanely successful. Like Tekken 3 was the best selling fighting game before Brawl came out.
At least I got a lot of experience from that. Yay! Get all my life back. So, this game has a it has a few annoyances. One of them I'm just going to say now, because it might happen to happen. So there's one. I'm assuming it's the same in this version as it is in the Western version, but there's a really convenient way to get EXP at the end of dungeons. In that, no matter how much EXP you have, by actually beating the dungeon, you'll gain a level automatically. But the way it will do it is it will just give you enough EXP to. Just give you enough EXP to get to your next level, and that's it. So if you say say I needed 300 EXP to get to my next level, and I beat the dungeon at 290 EXP, it would give me 10. But if I beat the dungeon at 0 EXP, it would give me 300. So ideally, you don't want to beat a dungeon in this game until. You don't want to beat a dungeon in this game until you've got like the minimum amount of EXP. So otherwise you'll waste some of it. Which seems to be now more than ever more important. Because I'm getting my ass handed to me left and right. And I don't have enough magic to do shield. God damn it. Ah!
That sucks.
The brave hero of Hyrule throws himself headfirst at a horseman and then runs away. This is the legendary hero. Okay. Done it! Killed him. So I killed him and got 100 EXP, but I don't want to finish the dungeon because I'm only 44 EXP away from getting another level. So while this may seem incredibly foolish, which it almost certainly is, I'm gonna go grind.
Lose instantly. Sorry.
I mean, it might happen, knowing this.
I'd feel incredibly sorry for you if that was the case.
just need to... No, not you. I just need to be super careful, pretty much. Obnoxiously, the best place to grind has, like, ton of bubbles around it, so it's going to be too hard to reach. But also, I have to just deal with all of those running enemies again. Then again, it might be more worth it to go this way than deal with the fucking running enemies again.
Language.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Get stuck up there. No! Oh god.
Oh god.
Thingy, you're from the same country as me when we swear all the time. Because then you tell him I'm not fucking.
Yeah, I know.
I think he's a good boy, that's why. Doesn't use that foul language of yours, Leo. Come on! Oh no, how much? Oh no, never mind, I died. One life left.
So, why did you ignore the request?
What'd you say?
The request for the game that I wanted you to play on Twitter. Just like.
No, because I don't think that game really exists. I think you have to nominate a real game, Leo, that's why.
What?
It's a real game, is it?
No, it's not a real game.
I can prove it.
No, it's not. It's not real.
You're right.
He suggested some strange made-up game from a fake mascot that definitely didn't exist at any point.
Let me see this. Oh.
Riveting gameplay. For
Thinks it
10
doesn't
years.
exist.
Where's this? Where can I find this?
I'll show you.
Leo has it in his collection,
Oh,
his private collection of games.
I would laugh if I own it.
I wouldn't. I would cry.
Oh, I do not own it, I'm afraid. But I know who this is.
I mean, it's no one because it's not
Never
real.
a fan of Mr. Blobby.
It's not a real person. You cannot say his name in this household.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I mean that one thing that was on Harry Hill's TV burp sometimes.
Yeah, the thing that doesn't exist and Harry Hill made up.
Yes, very much. I used to watch that. I can't believe I ever did or found
it's a
it funny.
tragedy what happened to him. He lost his house.
I mean, who?
Yeah,
Harry Hill or Mr. Blobby?
That's before he lost his house. There was this in the 90s. Noel Edmonds, because Mr. Blobby was such a success, decided to set up Britain's equivalent at Disneyland called Crinkly Bottom. And at Crinkly Bottom, you could go to Mr. Blobby's house, but just called them Blobbin.
Oh, and because the park closed down.
Yeah, when the park closed down, they instead of like demolishing it, it was just left to rot, and it just kind of rotted away
So his house is
by
condemned.
nature. And some teenagers showed up and like had a rave there.
You sure it's not like a
And then
haunted,
the police
haunted place now?
got fed up about it, and they just like demolished this house, and then they put a wall so nobody could get into it.
Rip, and that's
Like if
ended
you try
the
to go there
legacy-
today, there's just like a big wall where the entrance was.
That's ended the legacy of one of Britain's worst creations of all ever.
What do you mean worse? It's
This is literally the worst thing we've ever done in the history of ever.
And we made Zippy as well.
Right, so I managed to grind up to get an additional level. I'm just going to avoid every single enemy as I make my way to the end of this palace. And it only took me an
Yes.
hour. Jesus, that's a lot longer than I wanted it to.
Oh yes, here we go. I'm sure you'll be pleased to see this content.
I'm not looking at anything.
Yes. Paul's house party, read it.
I mean,
No.
I would definitely, no offense, I would watch
Yes.
Source Gaming play Mr. Blobby for the Amiga.
Dear God.
It's a real game.
Yeah, and no, it's not. I refuse to believe. Refuse to believe it's a real game.
I'll join the Source Gaming staff and I'll play on.
I'll
Alright,
do
shush,
it
we're
as
beating
well.
the first palace. Yay!
Only one over 61 minutes.
And there we go. Now, got all the way up to max level, so now I'm up, everything's equal on level 3. I can't believe how obnoxious this leveling system is. It's worse than I was expecting it to be. I thought I could cheese it a little bit and just like put everything into attack and would be confident. I didn't realise that like upon death everything would reset, not just turning off the game. Alright, but that one's done. So now, back to Link's Adventure. The next stop
Feed
is...
Mr. Blobby.
So the next stop is to find an idol in the town of Darunia. So to do this, we're going to run all the way up here.
Are the idols those dolls that you get in the...
They're not the Link dolls, so there's an idol which is like an angel statue.
Oh, right, okay, that's not what I'm thinking of, but...
Yeah.
Because I thought you were talking about the dolls that are actually...
No, you're thinking of the Link dolls that act as lives. Okay.
And there's only like 6 in the game.
Yeah, and they don't respawn. Because of course they don't.
Why make this easy on you?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the Japanese were like. They just instead of they just really dove into that arcade mentality and just made everything really hard.
Yeah.
Then how the
They
heck
had to sell these games for £50.
harder?
No!
$50,
No,
£50.
stop sliding into the
5,000,
enemy!
yeah.
Like, the physics in this game are pretty dog shit. And so, like, Link just skids across the ground as if it's made of ice. And just slides straight, like, I was trying to make a precise jump and Link would just glide into the enemy when he landed. Oh, Boomerang Man, that. And he's dead. Oh, yeah. That. So, yeah, you gotta stab important items in this game. In the Western version, you just have to touch them and then Link picks them up. Which just makes
It
collecting...
would just seem if it's a pouch and that, 'cause if you're stabbing it, it's gonna get it everywhere.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't like this. I don't like this placement. Fuck it. Oh, there we go. I made it past. Play the purple. I'd rather fight the stronger enemies in the desert because they actually give me useful stuff. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, there we go. Got the idol. Time to go to Darunia. So I'd really like a Zelda game, like a new Zelda game, that was done in the same world as this one. Because I think the scale of the map and everything in this game is pretty impressive. Like, it's like pretty much the biggest area Link's ever travelled across. Unless Breath of the Wild maybe beats it. Hey, it's our buddy Error. But, yeah, so I would like a 3D game remade in this style with all the villages and the caves, the swamps and all that, and just sort of redesign the palaces a little bit to be better.
I mean, some people would say Breath of the Wild's like that. Because, like, Breath of the Wild was, they did use they did want it to remind people of the enemies.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, I can see the argument for Breath of the Wild being like that, but I kind of would like it to be what's the right word? Like this, the exact same world. So that you could play the NES one and then play the original. Like you could play the original and then play the new game, and the worlds would line up 1-to-1, but one would be in full like 3D, whereas the other would be in 2D like this. Just remake Zelda 2, basically, is all I'm saying. I think it's got a pretty interesting... It's the first game to sort of really establish lore in the series. And I think the combat's pretty good. Well, no, that's a lie. I think the combat's pretty interesting as far as Zelda goes. Good is not the right word. Clearly. But, yeah. I think it could do... Because they did try... They were going to remake it at one point. The Oracle of Seasons and Ages games were meant to be remakes of Zelda 1 and 2 originally. More so Zelda 1 than Zelda 2. Ah, these stupid dogs with boomerangs, and I died. Oh well, at least I beat that dungeon, so... No real experience lost here.
I was broken-hearted when I found out that supposedly Resident Evil 3 is mixed.
What's that?
In terms of its reception.
Sorry,
And supposedly it's got some issues with length, but also how much it cuts out from the original.
Resident Evil 3, right. Sorry, I only caught the 3 part and I wasn't quite sure what you were referring to.
Sorry, I was just saying that I was broken-hearted by Resident Evil 3 getting mixed reviews.
Yeah, it's a shame really, especially because I just finished playing through Resident Evil 2 and really enjoyed it.
2 was good. I think
2 was really good.
I just recently beat Resident Evil 4 for the first time.
Oh nice, I still haven't done that. I've
It
got
was
like
the only one.
I'd have to go back and replay it.
So like I owned Resident Evil 4 years ago, but I never beat the thing, even though I'd beaten like 5 and 6 and all that.
My history of Resident Evil's an interesting one. So like I knew of it on the PlayStation, but I never had it. And then my friend got really into it on the GameCube and had the remake of Resi 1, Resi 0, and Resi 4 all on GameCube. And I really liked Resi 0, which was the one I played the most. But I didn't play much of 4. But I managed to get it on the Wii, and I wasn't a big fan of the motion controls on the Wii. But I still managed to get about halfway through, but then just stopped somewhere in the castle.
Yeah. And
then I've tried going back and playing it since, and I can't with that game. Like, I don't know where, I'm in some weird room where outside there's a few zombies, and inside I don't know, and I don't know where to go. So
usually the map tells you.
Yeah, I just have to I probably have to replay it again from the start, I think, if I would play that game again.
Yeah.
Slippy slidey.
My relationship with Resident Evil has been strange. My dad used to absolutely love Resident Evil. And when I first got my GameCube years ago, he picked up the Resident Evil version.
Nice.
So we were sharing it, technically, because he bought all the Resident Evil games for it.
Oh wow.
So he had, I think it was Remake 1, so it was like Remake 0, 2, 3, 4, everything on it. And he didn't play
2 and 3
as
are
much.
really hard to get on GameCube as well, especially
We got rid of it. We got rid of it.
Hmm?
We had to get rid of it. So
you had to get rid of it? Why?
We didn't know it was rare.
That's heartbreak, that is.
And also, what would usually be the case is if we weren't playing something, we would trade it in.
That's real
because
heartbreak.
one of the reasons there was no reason to keep it about. It happened a few times with a few games. I traded in the majority of my Wii collection and my GameCube collection, but I understood completely why I did it later.
What's tragic for me is that I have Pokemon Colosseum and Pokemon T, and I found out that one
I used to own
and
Colosseum.
I returned it into the exchange shop, and they told me the game's too scratched, so
Oh no.
I used to own Colosseum, and I think the problem that I would never be able to sell them is that I got rid of all the cases and just kept the discs in a case.
Oh no.
Like a travel case.
So
I never kept the cases for the games somehow, so I was never going to get any money off them. But yeah, no, but so when it came to Resident Evil, I'd only played 1 at that time. I tried Remake as a kid, and I was like 7.
Oh my god.
So after about 10 minutes of trying to wrestle with the tank controls, and after encountering the first zombie, I was like, nope, I'm not doing this, I can't deal with it. A few years later, my big cousin got really into Resident Evil 5.
Oh yeah.
So I eventually hunted down a copy of the gold edition of that game for the 360. I think I found it for like 15 quid or something pre-owned, and the code still worked.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, Blockbuster.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, so I was able to build. It was the game station in a Blockbuster.
Oh, Game Station.
The blockbuster that was in my neighbourhood, it got shut down, and now instead of putting a new shop into it, they just put a brick.
For us, it got replaced by a Morrison's.
Oof. Oh, God.
Well, for
Damn these enemies.
me, there's just a brick. It just got replaced by a brick wall. So basically, there's basically like a place where it's just like nothing but empty shell,
Interesting.
and nobody can get into it because there's just a brick wall. It's completely safe.
I'm surprised no one's tried to buy it.
Yeah.
But no, for our case, it was the thing that for our Blockbuster, basically where it was, because it was the one in Partick, it would be there was a Morrison's, there was some other shops or something like that. I think it was like a general shop or something, and then there was a Blockbuster / Game Station. But then, as everything, as the Blockbuster started shutting down everything, Morrison's just took over the whole area. So now it's just one big Morrison's.
The Great Morrison's takeover.
Yeah. No, but as I was saying with my history with Resident Evil, I played through 5 with my cousin. I did not ever play the single player once, but I just played the co-op with him and one of my friends, and I absolutely adored the game.
Yeah, I really
there,
enjoyed
I ended up
Resident 5.
Resident Evil
Also,
6.
fuck Ganon. My god. Where is this stupid house?
I eventually got Resident Evil 6 the day of launch. In fact, I think there was an issue with Amazon because there was something wrong with my order, or I think it may have came a day late or something. So, because I think it was, you only got one of the maps. It was meant to be if you pre-ordered a certain version, you'll only get one of the 3 maps, but they just gave me all 3 anyway.
Oh,
So
nice.
like messed up your order. Something like that, I can't remember.
Nice.
I was like fine with it. I played. Right. Back then I loved. I'm gonna be honest, I actually enjoyed it. I still do to this day.
Oh, I
Somehow
enjoy
it. It's my
Resi
guilty
5.
pleasure.
I don't think it's that bad. It's not a horror game.
I just
for
never
sure,
enjoyed Chris's campaign. I enjoyed the rest.
but it's like an action. Wait, Resi 5 or Resi 6?
Resi 6.
Oh,
I
okay.
used-
Yeah.
I never got
It's my
Resi
guilty
6. I was thinking about getting it, but then Street Fighter vs Tekken just disappointed me to a cosmic extent. That
I bought both of them.
like Street Fighter vs Tekken was like my most anticipated game.
I was so.
Oh well, it was one of them. It was one of them, and I was so looking forward to that game.
I'm so sorry, Leah.
The one that really annoyed me was I bought Marvel 3 day of launch, and then like a few months later they announced Ultimate. I'm like, fuck that, I ain't buying it. And then a few years later I'm like, damn it, I really want to buy Ultimate.
I own Ultimate.
And the only version I was able to get a hand on somehow was
I'll get Ultimate if it.
the problem I had with Ultimate Marvel 3 was at the time that I actually wanted to get the game had been taken off all the.
Oh right, yeah. They took it off all the
So you could
stores.
only find physical, but no game store near me sold a physical of that game.
I think I've got
They're
Ultimate for the
pre-launch
for the 360 if you stop.
Yeah, I've got the 360 version. The
Right,
only way I
okay.
was able to get a hold of it was to find an American.
Right,
That was the only way I somehow got a hold of it.
I got Ultimate because liked the new additions on the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Marvel characters for Ultimate were so hated at first, but like in hindsight, it's just hilarious because like back then, Rocket Raccoon was the literal who that didn't deserve the.
Yeah.
And now that the Guardians of the Galaxy has come out and has been so popular,
Yeah.
people like
That
would
was
be pissed if he wasn't in Marvel vs. Capcom 4 or 5 or whatever they call it.
Yeah, Rocket Raccoon's on every list.
Yeah. I mean, I liked Rocket Raccoon. I wanted to see more obscure characters, more so from the Capcom side, because like, oh my god, fuck these enemies, piece of shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I wanted to see more characters from specifically from the Capcom side, more random characters like that. But was willing to take whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it because of Phoenix Wright. That was basically the reason why I wanted to get Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom.
I think the only Capcom character that made me want to get Ultimate Marvel 3 was Frank West.
Nah, I wasn't bothered about
Frank West was supposed to be in Vanilla.
Yeah.
And he was the last minute cut as well. Because the different one of the trailers was they took the helicopter pilot and they just made him generic. Because in the original, I think they've said that.
Yeah, they
people
might
like
have.
to just tell that.
I mean,
Yeah, I think the reason was because it would make the roster unbalanced because the other character they had planned was cut.
I mean,
Well,
there's a
not
lot
many
of, there's a lot of cut characters from Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Some that actually had development, and some that were literally just ideas that they wanted to implement. Like,
That's a good idea.
oh, this is not piece of... Ah, this isn't where I want to go! No! Oh my god! So obnoxious and just surrounded by fleas. There we go. Stupid.
Like, I think the reason Frank was cut was because they couldn't get his hyper combos to run properly.
Yeah.
And then I think Dr. Octopus was like an unfortunate.
Yeah, he couldn't work. He didn't work out either.
Yeah, Dr.
Because I know there's a few characters they had planned. What was it? Marvel wouldn't allow the human.
Yeah,
torch
that
didn't
was
work.
a big controversy.
Yeah.
Nearly did because they couldn't get the particle. What was it? Something with the particle? Or something with the human torch. They couldn't get it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. I mean, they couldn't get any of the
Which is why
Fantastic
Super
Four,
Skrull
which is why they had Super Skrull to just pay all of them. I mean, there's a few others
And
that
then
I know that
I think they had to fight for some of the obscure picks like Sentinel and Shimagura.
Oh yeah, they did. They had to do that on both sides. So like, they originally wanted to get Asura from Asura's Wrath, the Capcom game, as well as the main character, in Dark Void or whatever it was called.
Right. Interesting.
But those were considered too obscure for Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Especially the Dark Void guy.
That's weird because people wanted Azura. Remember that was one of the big Capcom.
I can't hear what you're saying.
wasn't Azura.
Dingy. Ah, fucking died again. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just surprised they didn't do something like Lost Planet.
They did Lost Planet for
Lost Planet was
Tatsunoko versus Capcom.
I had Tatsunoko. Like, I didn't know who any of the characters were, except for the Capcom ones, but
I have not played it. I probably should.
yeah. I think Azura was planned for Infinite before that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, there was a few characters planned for Infinite, like...
The Infinite, I think the planned characters were Star-Lord, Miss Marvel, Virgil, Lady, Gil, and Azura.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Wasn't
And there was
Doc...
also Ant-Man, who was a base roster.
I thought Doc Ock was also
Gil
planned
from
for...
Street Fighter.
Doc Ock was Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah, I thought he was also Infinite though.
If he was planned for Infinite, I did not hear about that.
I
Yeah,
thought
the
I
only
remembered
ones I
it
heard
was,
about
but-
being planned... What, sorry?
Sorry, I was going to say, I thought I heard that he was.
No. The only ones I remember hearing about was obviously the Star-Lord, Miss Marvel, I heard Asura, Virgil and Lady, and I'd heard about Gil, because he was meant... There was the whole thing that supposedly he was meant to be the last character of the first season.
Okay.
And that he would have... What was that? I think it was meant to be the... I remember the rumour was if you had Gil, you couldn't use the tag mechanic, or one of the stones or something like that.
Okay, why?
Something. No, it was like, oh yeah, no, you could use the tag. You weren't allowed to use some of one of the stones because of the fact that Gil's ability would be that he could resurrect himself, like he can in Street Fighter 3 if he had a full bar,
Oh wow.
and that he was basically just going to do Phoenix Scrap, which was
That's pretty
interesting.
Yeah, wild for a fighter. I mean, Infinite had so many
But the thing
problems.
is-
I feel like they're definitely gonna.
It's a shame because the DLC characters were like some of the most polished in the game.
Yeah. Well, they were just
So they
their
were.
game was I don't know. I don't want to say it's mismanaged because I think the director and stuff were like the people sort of designing the game designers in that game were doing everything they could, but the people up top on both Capcom and Marvel just meddled so much.
Yeah, that was one of the big issues, especially because this was right about the time with the no X-Men directive,
Yeah,
when Marvel would meddle in every project when it came to that,
yeah,
and that was mostly due to how Marvel Comics was ran.
yeah. I mean, so I don't have a problem with the no X-Men directive. I mean, obviously it does suck if you're an X-Men fan, but like, I don't have this issue that some people have that with them only using characters from the MCU and no.
The problem I had with the no X-Men in the Marvel v Capcom game specifically was obviously the whole franchise started with the X-Men.
Yeah, I get that, but I think they could have. I think they could have made it work and stuff with the sticking with the MCU variants as well. But I just don't think that. I think they were under budget and had to just sort of do what they can. Like, and I think there might be a mixture of some misdirection here. Like, I don't think they needed to have both. Bionic Commando and Winter Soldier. Right, because they're both kind of especially the remake, the reboot Winter Soldier, because he looks like he looks exactly the same as the Winter Soldier as well. So, sorry, the reboot Bionic Commando, because he looks the same as the Winter Soldier. Oh my god, these fish! This game. Oh my game! So frustrating.
So what games are you planning to play while stuck in?
I just beat Doom Eternal, so
What did you think of it?
I loved it. It was it's so good.
I'm very heavily considering double dipping at some point.
Oh,
I
really?
loved it.
Well, get it for Switch as well as whatever you got it for.
Yeah, I've got it for PlayStation,
Oh, okay.
so
Yeah,
I'd
that's what I
probably
got it for
get
as
it
well.
for the Switch.
PlayStation. It's like almost. It's like almost. Is it worth getting these experience bags? Because if I die now, it's just wasted. I've definitely just wasted that. You know what? I don't care. Fuck it. Fuck it. Okay.
It sucks as well because, like, no, Doom Eternal, that was great. I ended up trying that demo for Predator,
Oh yeah.
which was sadly not that great.
No, no. That kind
It
of sucks.
felt really awkward and stiff to play.
Ah no! Oh, why did I fall for that? Oh my
God.
god, this sucks. You know, I might stop playing. This is
Ouch.
I kind of thought I'd do a bit better, to be honest. I didn't realise how janky this one was going to be. You know what? What I'm going to do is, because I'm just really curious about the feel of this game, let's go on to... Is this how you do? Oh, that's how you do save states. What I'm going to do is go on to the English version of this game and just give myself a feel for how it plays. Because now I'm just getting more annoyed, and I'd rather be playing something like Animal Crossing.
To calm me down.
What would you say, sorry? Cannot hear you.
Oh, sorry if the game's annoying you.
Yeah.
I don't actually know what the hell I'm going to play myself.
I've got a few things I can try.
Stuff I could play. I still need to beat. I think I still need to actually beat Doom 2016.
Oh really? I need to beat Doom 2. I beat all of Doom 1, and I was like halfway through Doom 2 when Doom
Eternal came out.
Doom Eternal came out. So I need to go back and beat Doom 2.
I've do got to beat the classic Dooms. I also I'm currently trying to do a playthrough of Doom VFR, which is an interesting game. I'll say. It's really weird getting used to the controls though on the Move controller.
How so?
So it is. It just feels weird teleporting about the place, but also it's hard to remember which button dashes you in which direction, and there's been numerous times while doing stuff I've accidentally let loose a grenade on myself from trying to pick stuff up or interact with objects that I'm meant to interact with.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. It just feels weird to maneuver around.
Also, yeah, alright, so I'm playing the Western version. I just jumped straight into the SP one, which gives you like the max power and all the stuff. But, well, there's a rewind feature. It's just how much little I use it. So just so you know what you missed, Leo, I decided that Zelda 2 on the Famicom is trash and stopped playing it. Like, it was just super frustrating, but I've gone into the Western version of the game to compare, and the Western version feels so much better. So it definitely wasn't just me. The Famicom version has this weird heaviness to it, where Link just slides about a lot and feels really slow to jump, and it makes getting the timing right so much harder. This is much nicer, and I'm just running around demolishing peons. But yeah, alright.
Surprised ShadowLink isn't playing the game. Or is he going to do a separate thing?
Nah, he doesn't like this game. I mean, so...
Oh, he doesn't like the game, fair enough.
If you've watched his, which I'm hoping everyone here has, his retrospective on it, he complains about how the game, it's not good. It's got its moments in it, it's got stuff there, but ultimately it's the black sheep for a reason. And I agree with him, it's definitely a different, but I've got a lot of good memories of the Adventure of Link. And I didn't grow up with it or anything, I just played it, I think the first time I played it was on the Zelda All-Star Collection, which, hey, that's something they could report in the future.
Yeah.
Get that Ocarina
Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 are the only Zelda games I'll be in.
Yeah, and so I played Zelda 2 and that, and I really enjoyed it. And on the 3DS as a download on that, I really enjoyed it, and I've beaten it twice. So I'm actually quite a big fan of the Adventure of Link, but I'd never played the Japanese version before. And as I knew his retrospective, because I reviewed the script, didn't really talking about his time with it, and so he didn't mention in the Japanese differences. I thought I'd come on and do it, but it's awful.
You've now just realised that the Japanese version is ball-bustingly difficult.
Yes, the Japanese... I knew it was going to be harder, because I knew about the EXP thing in advance. I didn't realise the game was going to feel different, which just ended up completely throwing me off and made just getting through it more of a chore. So even though the music's better in the Famicom Disk System version, the NES version is significantly superior. But I
The one
suppose,
time that's applicable.
yeah,
Maybe
just
someone who's like really dedicated made like a best of where they combined the best traits of both.
that would be good. I mean, this is why a remake of Zelda 2 would be ideal with like an orchestrated soundtrack and stuff. But here's what I'm going to do, because I wanted to show off the differences between both versions, and obviously it's super obnoxious, and I only got to just before Death Mountain, which is like one of the worst parts of the game, so I wasn't getting through that. Let's just go on the cutting room floor and go through the differences that they highlight, and we'll end it like that. So, I mean, some of it's obvious stuff like the text and the dialogue. The opening scroll is different, even though they both still use the power of the... This is the Famicom Disk System translation of the intro. Several years after Ganon, with 2 N's, was destroyed, Link learns from Impa about another sleeping Princess Zelda. He is told she can only awaken with the number 3 Triforce spelt Try-Force, sealed in the Great Sanctuary at Dis Valley. To remove the seal, crystals must be embedded into a stone statue standing in 6 sanctuaries. Link sets out on an adventurous quest. That's the original text scroll. So there's stuff like Ganon not appearing, Link, stuff I pointed out in the game, how Link can't pick up items, he has to just hit them, and stuff like that. Then the temple being different in the Japanese version and the Western version. The sprites on the overworld just being the same ghosts but different colours to reflect weak, strong, and fairy. The difference in statue, like the Water of Life, the angel statue is different. The boy, because you have to stab things to pick stuff up in the Famicom Disk System version, the boy is actually tied up in a rope instead of being free like he is in the NES one, so that it doesn't look like you're stabbing him. Leo, please. I can hear the clickety-clacks.
I'm sorry.
There's a Dragon Quest reference in the Japanese version, where at a grave in one of the towns it reads, "Here lies Lotto, the hero," which is Erdrick from Dragon Quest. And then the churches have visible crosses, which were censored out in the Japanese version. The King's Tomb has monsters surrounding it in the Japanese version, whereas it doesn't in the NES version. Water moves on the overworld. The raft is slightly different. The sprite of the monster in the overworld is different as well. It looks like more like a demon than a spider. There are some different textures. All of these villagers here, the fat woman, the child, and the skinny man, are all unique to the NES version. The knights are a bit more different. Like they look kind of like fat people in the Famicom Disk System version, whereas they look more like knights in the NES version. The palaces all use like the same textures in the Famicom version and just slightly different colours of them, whereas they actually changed up the textures for each palace in the NES version.
Damn.
Certain projectiles like the Octorok rocks and boomerang flash in the NES version, whereas they just 2 images flipping constantly in the Famicom Disk System one. Boss difference. Iron Knuckle attack. Furthermore, Iron Knuckles in the Famicom Disk System will shoot proper sword beams at Link instead of just throwing knives like they do in the NES version. Then some bosses are different. The sprite for the wizard boss is worse in the Famicom Disk System version. The horse head originally returns as a mini boss in the 5th palace. The this guy here, whose name is Guma, is a boss only in the NES version. In the Famicom Disk System version, you just fight another helmet head again. And Volvagia, or Barber as he's known in English, has a different sprite to make it. In the Western version, he looks more like a Western dragon, whereas in the Eastern version, he looks more like an Eastern dragon. He's actually thinner. But because of the layout of the stage, he can be really easily cheesed in the Japanese version of the game. There are some palette differences which you may have seen. Some original blue Octroks throughout the 2nd palace that get replaced with other enemies. The hallway that leads to the 4th palace has some enemies removed, making it easier. Some slight graphical differences on the final palace. The Reflect spell is called Reflex in the Japanese one, which is strange. the really awful leveling system that we touched upon is there on the Japanese one instead of the NES one, where everything just has different variables. Elevators are slower in the Famicom version. And then the music is also comparing some of the musics we were talking about. This is the battle theme in the NES version. If you can, hopefully you can hear it. Okay, and then this is the one in the Famicom Disk System version. So it's just sort of repeating the same few tracks again. This is the boss one. Ganon's laugh is also different. In the NES one, it's more like a proper ho ho. Whereas in the Famicom Disk System version, it's a roar. Apparently the NES version's unique laugh for Ganon is actually taken from Soda Popinski in Punch-Out. That's a fun fact. Title screen music is slightly different. The fight whoosh noise when entering battle is louder in the Famicom Disk System version. Boss theme different. The Dark Link trick doesn't work in the Famicom Disk System version, and the Fairy Warp glitch doesn't work in the Famicom Disk System version.
That's crap.
Yeah. And that's it. Those are the differences. Final impression, watch ShadowLink's retrospective to see him beat the whole game and get... He has more patience than I do, even though he's playing the NES version, not the Japanese version. But don't play the Famicom Disk System version. Play the Western version instead. That's my review of this game. So with that... This was my one-off review. Next week, I got a lot of requests to stream Animal Crossing. And what I was thinking we might do in streaming that is I was planning on making like a Source Gaming house. And potentially we can do that together on stream, and we can all work together to try and get all the items that are needed for said house. See how that goes.
Well, I'd join you on that, but I don't have New Horizons. And
Neither do I.
I'm interested in it, so you'll have to find some other people.
It's alright. I'm sure enough people vote for it that hopefully people will watch in the comments, and if I make my Dodo code available, people can just jump in and take part in the stream and give me items to get everything up.
What I could do is I could like get the game and I could come to your house and I could like mess it up.
You know that
I'll do decorating, I should say.
Do that, all they would do is just put Mr. Blobby themed stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, you know what? You're banned from Ireland forever. Never allowed in. I'm gonna put you'll have a notice in the airport, and if the dodo sees you coming, he'll be like, nope, get out of here. Permanent ban list.
Oh. There's a blacklist. It only includes Scottish people.
Right.
I'm counting on you to do it.
I do not own Animal Crossing.
We'll get the game and do it.
All right. Well, thank you both for joining me, keeping me company during
No
this
problem,
stream.
anytime.
Thanks everyone for watching this.
Sure.
Go watch ShadowLink's thing. It's linked down below. Always remember to like, comment, subscribe. If you want to be on a stream like the two of them here, become a Patreon. Get access to the Patreon Discord channel and
money.
Patreon Discord chat, and then you can join us and take part in streams and tell us to do stuff that we may or may not listen to, depending on how
Like play Mr. Blobby.
Yeah, I have veto power. And just like all of the SG choices our certain Patreon sends us, I have the option to not do them if I choose to. So, yeah. With that, though, I will do most of them, though, as long as you're reasonable. So, but not Mr. Blobby related. That stuff stays in the trash where it belongs. So, always remember to like, comment, subscribe, blah, 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 and always remember to return to the source. See ya.